Virgo, welcome to Illuminated Tarot. My name is Jenna. Today I'm here to do your reading for October. We're going to take a look at your overall general energy, which you may not see coming, and get some important advice from Spirit. Let's get started. I've got two oracle decks that I combined by the same author. It's a little big. It's a little big. So let's get going. We're going to pull oracle messages, then we'll get into the tarot. We're going to also end with the Angels and Ancestors oracle as well. Thank you for tuning in, for being here. And for the wait, you all, I just had the last 3 days off with my family to enjoy the fall season. And I just want to thank you for being patient. And thank you for being here and for your support of this channel. Thank you, Spirit, too, for presiding over this reading for Virgo today. All right, Virgo. What's happening in your world for October? Woo! Consciousness. Lots spill out. Consciousness. I feel like you're, right off the bat, I heard conscious awareness to the way you are expressing yourself. Bringing more awareness to that. Allowance. Ooh. Spirit of allowing things to be as they are, not how you want them to be. Let's see what else. Those are just hits I'm getting. And strength. Okay. Let's read these and see what frequencies you're dealing with. We have the first one, a lot of blue. It's the fourth chakra. I'm sorry, fifth chakra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our seat of our expressions and how we communicate when we talk about the energy of blue. It's also very calming, too, if we're just thinking about the color frequency. The frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multidimensional aspects that show up so that we can include them in our reality. So this is bringing multiple multidimensional aspects of self into the room when you are relating to other people. Because there's something around you opening up without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. It's very hard, but I feel like this is something that you're working on this month. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. Spiritual opening here. Just right off, Virgo. It feels really beautiful. Actually, it's almost like you intended for this. Some of you are even teaching other people just through naturally embodying this awareness. You become a teacher, a way shower, just by being. You don't even have to explain it. People are looking at you and going, wow, Virgo's bringing, this beautiful presence of being and not being most Virgos that I have come across, and I'm close to that Virgo. I'm close to that Virgo season. I'm an early Libra. And I understand that whole being very detail-oriented, being very grounded. You're the most loyal of the zodiac. And you're going into a really, really cool place for the rest of this month in your consciousness around this wondrous dance of existence and expansion. I'm just kind of sitting with it because it feels very self-directed, very focused, and very grounded, Virgo. And then the last one, strength. The frequency of strength supports our ability to harmonize all our qualities and skills toward a strong and balanced way of being. Yeah. And we've been talking for a little while, Virgo, about not falling prey to the self-doubt, the inner critic, the worry, right? Or how we can kind of internalize that and then it becomes part of our external reality. This feels like a beautiful spiritual opportunity for you to display this new vibration that you're in. Let's go into the tarot. Spirit was like, just be organic. So you're the first of the earth signs I'm reading. Let's see, Spirit. Let's just see. I feel like let's go into the overall general energy for you for the rest of the month. Sorry if that's loud. Overall general energy, Spirit. What's that surface energy? Page of Cups, Ten of Pentacles. This is bringing the spirit of allowance into the things that you're really committed to for the long term. Ten of Pentacles, it could imply you are very open and curious and loving when it comes to the playfulness around your family and the youth, right? Around, and it doesn't mean you're young. It has a lot to do with being playful, being light of heart, bringing that energy into your family dynamic, or bringing that energy into your career, because the Ten of Pentacles is everything we want, right? In our success and our achievement, in building the support system around us, what we think of for the long term. Ooh. We had Hierophant. I'm going to spin this because I am unclear over whether it's upright or not. I've never done that before. Again, we're just going to, wow, that just wanted to keep spinning. Maybe you're unsure. There's something sideways. It's actually cockeyed. It's ultimately upright, though. The Hierophant is ultimately upright. This is about you. Like I said, you're being, maybe you don't want to step into the role of being more of that embodied, spiritually wise teacher. If it's a natural state of being, just know that as you move through the world, you set a tone, an example in your work environment and in your family life, where there's this beautiful non-judgment, right? The Buddhist principles of acceptance and non-attachment, and moving through the world without judgment, being in a state of allowance and exemplifying that strength in your own awareness, in your consciousness. This is about you being the spiritual wise one in the room and bringing that energy. Grounded, truth-seeking, expansive, very spiritual. This could have to do with something you're deeply committed to, whether it's your own spiritual. That was spinning too. This I'm going to take sideways. Ooh, Tower. There's a big shakeup going on, Virgo. Now we have a lot of Taurus and Scorpio energy now. This is around something shifting around your stability. That you're like, I just have to allow this come what may. Interesting. All of these want to come out sideways. Ooh, there's some stress around something that may or may not work out, that you are deeply committed to. It's at the bottom now. Four of Pentacles, holding on tight. Ooh, Spirit's saying, you gotta let go, surrender, right? This is about allowance. The world, yeah. And death. Well, we've got a lot of Scorpio energy here. I'm gonna put that there. Interesting. You may be holding on to something that, yeah, it's the grip, right? It's like if you're white knuckling something, Spirit is saying that's not gonna help you. Because then you start to experience too much inner turmoil, anxiety, restless nights, sleepless nights. You're trying to hold on to something that Spirit's saying, let go. Just let go, surrender. You'll feel so much better. I'm not sure what it is that you're trying to release here. But Spirit is saying you're strong enough to allow whatever this is. You're aware enough in your own consciousness here. It's almost like you could be overthinking something that you know you have to release and close it out. Whenever we see the world, it's like, okay, it's time to close that out in this cycle. And there might have been a lot of death, rebirth, transformation, renewal in this cycle, and you could be afraid of change. There's some sort of major change going on, either in a commitment, like a marriage, that's what Hierophant energy could be, or it could be around the lesson that you're trying to learn. This is about respecting tradition, values, our spiritual assignments, right? So the spiritual assignment, all I can gather here is there's a big shakeup going on this month around that. And the lesson that needs to be learned around maybe not dwelling so much on what you can't control, not holding on too tightly to the things that you need to release, so you can actually put it behind you. Interesting. I really want to clarify the majors here. I'm going to leave these over here because it feels like you're stressing out about something that you really need to release at this time. And then we have four majors. Let's clarify these four majors. It went from the Hierophant to the Tower to the World to the Death. This is definitely non-attachment. And I don't know what it is, but there's it could be you awakening to some sort of spiritual calling as well. That's big. That you're like, am I ready to fill these shoes? I don't know, Spirit, but I'm going to do my best. Let's see. This is big. Bottom of the deck, the Magician. Five of Wands and the Hanged Man. More majors. Again, this is big, Virgo. What are you doing? You're trying to manifest something that has been very hard, very hard. You have a vision. There's been a lot of confusion, a lot of blocks. There's a lot of healing around your happiness and unconditional love. This might have to do with somebody. It might have to do with a very deep connection that you have been committed to, that at this time, there's a little uncertainty around. I'm not going to lie. This feels like there's some uncertainty around the future fate. Let's see. I'm going to just... Where do you want me to go first, Spirit? Let's start with the Hierophant. We might just have to break down all these major energies and find out why. I mean, the guidance ultimately is... You're going to go from the 9 to the 10. You're almost at the end where it's time to just release everything that you've been... It's like this buildup. There's this pressure that's been mounting, Virgo. And it's left you feeling a little bit restricted. Like you have nowhere to turn. Interesting. All right, Virgo. What's the Hierophant energy here? Let's clarify. 2 of Pentacles. We're going to go 2 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups. 3 of Cups is a lightning of energy. But it's almost like, because it's next to the 2 of Pentacles, it's like there's some sort of waviness going on and something that you're like, maybe there's a lot of highs and lows. You might be going through a lot of highs and lows in your career, whatever you're deeply committed to. Mostly, let's talk about the truth here. I think a lot of you coming to this reading are going through a lot of highs and lows in something that you're committed to, like a committed partnership. On the one hand, you've had a lot of milestones, you've celebrated a lot of things, but it's unstable. And I think that you're like, it's one of those round and round things. It's like, what needs to change here? So we don't have to play out this pattern. Because I think you're getting tired, Virgo. Let's see. Or if this is not about a partnership, this is about what you need to change in your capacity to be a little too hard on yourself when it comes to your own values and what you're trying to bring to the world as far as your consciousness and your learning and your teachings, in your work, your purpose. It's like, wow, you're being very hard on yourself. Try not to be as self-critical as you have been in the past when it comes to what you're building. And that could be twofold. This could resonate with you on both ends of what I'm talking about here, because some of you, it does have to do with a troublesome partnership. Others of you who that does not speak to, it's about you and your commitment to upholding what you value in your work, in the way you live your life. And the waves, it's like you're being tested, Virgo. I feel like you're being deeply tested. King of Cups in reverse. You could be dealing with a water sign where they're shut off. They're shut off. They're in their own head. They're definitely thinking about the future. I think that you've suffered some sort of tower with somebody or you will this month. Around almost like the love is being overshadowed by 2 people who are a little bit, what's the word? Impetuous, where it's like there's this pressing pressure around aligning around the future, because the 2 of Wands is that period of time where it's time to discard the old, welcome the new, and feeling like I'm motivated, let's go, come on, and having this sudden shift and awareness of like, wait a minute, we're not really, what happened to the love here? Are we making decisions impulsively? Is this is not coming from a place of love. This is the opposite of that. This is someone who's acting immaturely, emotionally, whenever I see it in reverse. And it could be someone who's creating towers. And because of some of you could be removing yourself from a situation temporarily to get your head on straight around how you're feeling, because somebody around you is almost doing it. I feel like someone around you is doing an about face where you're almost like, what? it really feels like a what? It's one of those situations where you could be with someone and there's been an initial investment, whether it's new or old, and you had like a vision, and then things aren't going according to plan. And you're trying to move past what is falling apart. It's almost like, let me pick up the pieces, move forward. I'm not sure if they're coming with or not. This is pivotal. This is 4 majors. So this is a big deal. This isn't just some minor arcana like rest of October. This is like, it's kind of like a make or break for you in a situation where you could be trying to like move past something that, if you are dealing with an emotionally immature individual, or you feel like they're not acting from love or higher consciousness, it's like you're being guided to look at the bigger picture this week and not bypass the things that you're seeing. And what is, this is the all-seeing eye. Are you seeing everything for what it is? Why is the world here? This is fascinating. It feels like a very intense time, Virgo, for you. We have the King of Swords. The 10. There is the 10. It's not the 10 of Swords, which is the ending of a situation, but it's like you've reached your capacity to hold unconditional love for someone. And you're like, that's it. That's it. Someone's kind of pushed you to the very edge. It's what it feels like. And you're deeply disappointed. You're trying like hell to come back into balance. You could have had just a tower moment that created a lot of pain, Virgo. Shouldn't say just, but like, it's almost like you can't just let it go like that. Let's get the last one here. What's with the 10 of Wands and the King of Swords? This is, I need to protect my energy. Wow, you've got a lot of push-pull energy here, Virgo. No wonder. I feel like you're on this like reckless like wagon. And you're trying to grab the reins of it, and someone else has maybe been in more control here. This is someone who could be emotionally manipulative, who causes, destruction, sometimes even unconsciously because of their unhealed wounds. And you're trying to get a hold of this. And we gotta this is hard, but we gotta wrap this up and charge forward and move forward. It's almost like being stuck in a pattern with somebody and trying to break free of it, so you don't have to stay in that frequency. But it's almost as though someone's not learning what they need to learn here. And I don't want to place full blame on whoever it is you're dealing with. This feels like some sort of partnership that's had a lot of highs and lows. I actually feel your anxiety in this reading. This almost like a crisis of faith in a connection and not knowing what to do. There's been almost like a battle of wills. Let's see this deck. God, it's so much scorpionic, very, very, you're trying to invest in something in a new way, right? To bring balance, but then you always end up feeling disappointed. 4 of Cups, Justice, and the Ace of Pentacles. Another 9 of Swords. Queen of Cups sideways. Queen of Wands. 7 of Pentacles. This is about you're wondering, you're probing, you're deeply evaluating. Someone has you very stressed. I don't know who this is to you. There's a lot of divine feminine energy coming into the reading here towards the tail end of this grouping with death and rebirth. It's like there's something that you're still very drawn to, Virgo, and that you really want to hold on to here. But there is so much stress surrounding this, around its sustainability, around its health. Oh, this is actually... Oh, wow, this was on the underneath it all. Isn't that interesting? Did you see that? I think that fell out while I was doing this. Underneath it all, you just want happiness, honey. I know. I want to give you a big hug. You just want happiness. You just want happiness. It's like you're stressed about the ability for things to be right again. Wow, I'm actually feeling shaky. Like, this is I was watching, I'm a big fan of Kate Blanchett. I was watching Disclaimer on iTunes or Apple TV last night, and that whole, like, she was shaking when this truth came out around, something, discretionary way back in her past. And there's a lot being revealed in this. I don't want to reveal too much. It's just the first few episodes, but it's true. Like, there's some sort of truth here and a need to bring back in love. And it's like two people could be stressing when all you got to do is bring back that softness, that vulnerability. This is exactly what happens in long-term commitments when there's been a buildup of a lot of discord and a surrendering, right? A surrendering of the ego, getting a handle on things logically, making important decisions, moving forward. And it's the spirit saying something's got to change. Something has to change because you can't keep going in this direction and expect things to change. So you're trying to bring a higher level of consciousness and having the strength to practice these things despite the way someone else is showing up. All right, I want to get further into this because I feel like we need to go deeper. Now we've established where things are, okay? You're trying to make an important decision about whether you need to hold on to something or turn your back to it. And I feel like you're playing, not playing, what's the word here? You're showing healthy boundaries with somebody who maybe you've reached that line. It's almost like you've pushed me to the very edge. My unconditional love will only go so far. Okay? Yes, I desire this. Yes, this makes me happy, but I am just as equally stressed about this situation. And I cannot. It's almost like you can't have both. It's like as much as you want happiness, joy, fulfillment, love, desire, there's so much stress around it. 2 9 of Swords, y'all. 2 9 of Swords. So I want to go into what you can expect here. We've now talked about, let's see what you don't see coming, because there's a big shakeup going on and something that you were deeply committed to. This could be you having a crisis of faith around something that you're trying to build in the external world that you have definitely fallen out of love with. This is also, I no longer want to keep this. This was like a big part of my path at one point, but not anymore. This is, I'm all out of love. I'm all out of love. And I need to move forward and I need to hold on to what I hold dear and true. That's the Knight of Wands. We have a lot of it's like there's just this intensity to this reading that feels like there's a lot of pressure being pushed on the two of you or on you. And Spirit is saying it's become a burden and it's time to move past the burdens, cut away at the truth. Don't let anyone take advantage of you. Just because there's attraction doesn't mean this is healthy. You need to make yourself happy. There's something that is going through a massive death, rebirth. This could be an ego death going on in a relationship where you could blame it on somebody who's activating this, but if you're responding in kind, there's something that needs to be, I feel like I need to go way deeper than this. I'm actually going to for the sake of time, because this feels, y'all, this right here feels like a hot mess. Okay? That's literally what you need to do. Take everything that's gone on inside of you. This is all internal, okay? No matter who has created this pile, right? This hot mess pile. Just push it away, okay? Push it away. Pause. Okay? Now, let's see what you don't see coming. What you don't see coming. Talk about pause. Transformation, 6 of Swords, which you have here. A letting go. There's some sort of relief that's going to take some strength for you, Virgo. This is the, I quit, or I've given my 2 weeks notice, or I can't stay in this situation anymore, That's what I'm feeling here. All right, what you don't see coming, this is for the rest of the month and into November. 10 of Swords, sideways, strength. I knew it. There's something coming to an end. It's a connection. We have the Lovers, the Strength, and the Ten of Swords, Virgo. Wow. There's something that's coming to an end. And you know what? It doesn't mean the relationship is coming to an end. I'm reading the energy. I'm moving because this has to move somewhere, right? It's like, it's been kind of like a downward spiral. And if something has been disintegrating and falling apart, it has to, so the energy can shift, Virgo. Then you can rebuild, right? But it has to be from a different frequency. It's almost like you got to change the dial to a different station, both of you. Only then can you actually begin anew. And I think that sometimes we have to let go of what something is in order for it to be what it's supposed to be. And I know that's like, oh, Jenna, how many times have I heard that before? But I'm being real with you. If you are fighting so hard to keep something going and you are dealing with someone who cannot meet you in the middle, who cannot compromise, or they're just, the love has just kind of like, where did the love go? Like, we were happy once. If there's been some sort of blow to this, where there's been some sort of betrayal, you now have a choice. Are you strong enough to actually make the choice that's best for you? I want to look at this Ten of Swords. Why is the Ten of Swords here? This feels like a very intense month for you. A true make or break it when it comes to a choice. It's almost as though you might be in a situation where things have been on hold, on pause, and you're going to be closer to making a decision here soon, Virgo. I feel like there's been a lot of walls and boundaries put up. I don't know what exactly happened here, but enough for it to be very stressful. Why is the Ten of Swords here? Spirit. Chariot. All right, you're like, all right, I'm ready to put this behind me. I'm ready to move past the wreckage. I got to move forward. Some of you are going through an ending or have gone through a recent ending, and you just showed me what it took. Yeah. You're closing out a cycle now, and I think you're looking at moving forward. These are both cards of moving forward, moving on. Relighting your hope and faith, the torch with the light there, the light of the horizon, coming back into balance, looking into the future. Wrapping up a cycle where you're either putting a betrayal behind you, an ending behind you, but it's got to be put behind you because you can't hold on to it. It's almost like, it's like the feelings of resentment, not feeling like you can forgive someone, you know, the betrayal of a love you once had faith in. Now we have the Strength here, which is here a lot. Strong Leo energy. Some of you have strong Leo placements because we had the Sun here as well. Five of Swords, energy of fighting for something. We have a card in here as well from a different deck, Two of Wands. Again, can you both align with the future and what you both are building? There's something stuck in this love bond. There's something stuck. It's like there's something being choked out here, and it's the love. You know, also this could be, it feels as though something has run its course. And it doesn't mean it has to. I'm getting this whole like, you need a break. You need a time out. And you need to release what needs to be released. And then you can think more clearly. Because if you're trying to make decisions about whether to stay or go or reunite, and you haven't dealt with what's happened and processed it, this is that whole process what needs to be processed here. Because there's a lot of confusion and a lot of holding back. And there is the spirit of being open here. Some of you have already put an ending behind you, and you've had the strength to move on and let go. And now it's a matter of opening up to self-love, self-care. This isn't even about letting new love in. This is about forgiveness. Forgiveness. And I think the Lover is going to tell me what's going to happen here. Is this ending? Oh, another Scorpio energy. I think a lot's going to happen as far as the decisions that are being made about this connection in Virgo and Scorpio season. Oh, God. It feels like a crisis and a connection. The crisis point in a connection. There's a King of Wands. It was the Queen of Wands before. Both of you. I feel like we need just a couple more. You know what? I think that Spirit is saying that you two need to really talk about the hurt, talk about the pain, talk about the trauma, get clear. You need to communicate, and you need to bring things back into balance. There's some sort of karma going on here, and a lot of an abandonment wound being kicked up again and again and again and again and again. And Virgo, you have the opportunity to move forward, to go through this transformation, and to bring the love back. But it's almost like, I think that the two of you are fighting like hell for something, where there's been almost, gosh, I just heard it. And I'm not referring to drugs or anything, but it's like that whole, I love that Neil Young song, The Needle and Damage Done. It's like there's been so much damage done in this connection. But if the two of you can really work through it, I have seen couples go through hell and back and still survive it. But you have to give each other that grace and that time period to heal things, right? Where you're not putting pressure on, are we going to stay together or not? Well, let's just work on what we both need to process, and then we'll decide that later. That's what this feels like. Because if you don't deal with what's been building up here, what's been holding you both back, because things have been contentious and there's been conflict, the biggest thing they keep pointing at is this allowance in the center. This invites you to be open to whatever comes your way without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When you allow, the universe becomes your partner and the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. So what is it that you're not allowing, Virgo? Because once you do, you will let go. I know that you are going through something that you were extremely drawn to. It's like your fire, your mojo. And you're fighting for a rebirth, a death, renewal, ego death. You want change in this connection. There could be outside interferences. You're trying to look at the bigger picture. You're trying to move forward. I feel like there's some sort of resistance going on. And all I see moving forward out of this hot mess here in October is a need to forgive and then decide accordingly. Let's get some advice from Spirit. Let's get some advice from Spirit. This feels intense. I'm not going to lie. Y'all had the most intense reading I've had for October. It truly is a time where Spirit is saying there can be fulfillment here, personal fulfillment. You need to focus on that. Making yourself happy, Virgo. This is about a soul bond. God, it's like the highs and the lows, right? It's almost like, I had a friend tell me this because I've had a lot of like intense relationships in my past, especially when I was younger. And she looked at it like a graph. She was like, think of love as like a graph. And when you look at a graph scientifically and there's a lot of peaks and valleys and it's really high and low, it shortens the lifespan. And I think for you, Virgo, you're very methodical, practical. You look at the bigger picture. You're not really a high-low person. But whoever you're dealing with is a high-low person. They're intense. And you're just like, it's shortening like the lifespan that you have in your capacity to show up for this. And I think that you're kind of getting a little bit overwhelmed through the rest of this month into November. And you're like, we got to change the way we're approaching this. And we got to start getting real and honest about the up and down, off and on, the upheaval of it all, because it's like it's unsustainable energetically for two people to operate like that. You want balance. You want nurturing, comfort, stability, safety. This feels nothing but that, okay? If this is a matter of, I'm getting overall, if this person is that important to you, you need to take a look at why it's been such a struggle and get the help that you need. If that means, marriage counseling, couples counseling, individual counseling, there's something around, you may decide that this needs to be, ultimately, this is, Spirit was saying, nothing is worth stressing this much over, holding on to something this tightly. It's draining. You need to at least let go of your grip, okay? Let's get a final message. Earth Mother, Earth Mother. This is feeling loved and comforted. Feeling loved and comforted. That's what you want. Maybe you're not getting that from someone at this time. Allow yourself to be cherished. Earth Mother is protecting you with a shield of love and light. You may feel overwhelmed or out of control emotionally recently, but you are now moving back to your natural center, and that will bring you to a place of clarity and openness. If you have felt ungrounded, know that Earth Mother is here to root you and help you regain your sense of strength. You may not feel like a child, but in the eyes of the divine, you are a child of light, and it's important you know that and feel loved. If you've had challenges with your mother or with being a mother yourself, know that the energies of mother healing are with you to help clear any ancestral blockages that are preventing you from making this sacred love connection. You are being guided to make choices that are based on love. This is very much Empress energy. It's almost like, the self-love needed here to make appropriate decisions and at least take this time to nurture yourself and to come back into a centered, grounded place so you can make decisions accordingly. I feel like this has been a heated experience. Things have turned up a notch in this connection, and there's been drama, there's been turmoil, and it's time to calm the energies down and let this energy transform, move past what has happened. Give yourself that time, get the support you need from your friends. Take that time out, okay? You will be letting go of this. I do feel like right now, it's not the time to decide whether you're going to stay or go in a situation. I think it's the energy needs to shift. You cannot sustain this extreme high and low. It's unsustainable because at the end of the day, you're losing sight of nurturing self. Okay? So make sure you do that. Come back into your grounded center, Virgo, and then make decisions accordingly and start to slow this energy down. Because when we grip too tightly, it becomes an act of desperation when at the very thing we think we're holding on to isn't really healthy for us anyway, okay? I'm sending love. Take care.